the fifth seal, Revelation chapter number 6, verses 7 and 8. Sorry, the fourth seal, not the fifth, rather, is the fourth seal. So we are looking at the fourth seal right now. So Revelation chapter number 7, chapter number 6, verses 7 and then 8. That's what we are going to look at today. The fourth seal. What will happen if Jesus opened the fourth seal? What will happen? Good. Now look at the flow of the seals. They are flowing systematically. First was the Antichrist, the white seal. Sorry, the white horse. The white horse followed by the red horse. The red horse followed by the what? The black horse. So, and I said the other time that the colors, they are significant. They are very, very important in the Bible. The colors, they are very, very important. So when you are reading, take notice of the colors. When they are mentioning colors, especially they say, okay, the priest or the things that they use to sew the priest clothing, they use this to sew this, they use this to do that. In the temple, they use this to cover this and do that and do that. The colors, they have much impact. They have important things. That's why the Bible don't just mention them just like that for nothing. So the the first one, white, no, sorry, the white, it stands for peace. That's why the Antichrist coming in the form of a sheep. Meanwhile, he's a wolf inside it. So pretend that he's bringing peace. That's why he's sitting on the white horse. So when he said that he will fool the people and sign a covenant with them, sign a peace treaty with them, that he is going to bring peace. That is the 7 years tribulation. And in the middle of it, he will now destroy it. So the first white horse was what? Peace. And then the second one was what? Red. And we said the red symbolized blood. Blood. What is the color of blood? Blood is red. And if there is blood, that means there is what? Death. Death comes, that's what? War. Blood cannot just be flowing without war. Blood cannot just be flowing without forcefully cut the person. So it is war that will forcefully cut the people, and then blood will flow. So if they say blood will flow, meaning there is going to be what? War. There's going to be fight. Good. That is why the second person was sitting on the red horse, and we looked at the time frame between the first seal and the second seal. When will the first seal take over? When will the second seal take over? If you haven't listened to them, you go and listen. The time gap between the first seal and then the second seal. And then we looked at the third seal. That is what? The famine. That is the black horse. The black symbolizes famine, no food, because the people, because of the war in the first seal, the people were not able to farm. So because of that, food will be costly, so they cannot farm. So today we are now going to look at the fourth seal. So if there's hunger and then all those things, what will not happen? So if you look at it, one thing leads to the other. If you look at the flow of the events, one thing leads to the other. The what? The war leads to hunger, famine, and then the famine is leading to something different. Let us read there. Revelation chapter number 6, verses 7 and then 8. That is the fourth seal. Now, let us read. And we'll go back to Matthew, because we said we are comparing it with Matthew. We are comparing it with Matthew chapter number 24. So we'll read here and then we'll go to Matthew 24 and see what Jesus said. John was part of those people when Jesus was speaking, because we know that Matthew 24, Matthew 25 have nothing to do with the church. It is just about the Jews and then the Israelites, just about them, and then Christ coming. There's nothing like church in those two chapters. If you look at the 25 and you see the 10 virgins there, sometimes people always misinterpret it as they are the people who are going to marry the bride, but that is not what the story says. The story didn't say the bridegroom. The story didn't say the bridegroom is coming to marry them. This one is after the marriage, so they were now going for marriage. It is a marriage procession that they were now doing it. If you haven't listened the Judea marriage analogy, listen to it. You understand it well, as it is in the Matthew 25, the Judea marriage analogy. It is in the It's in the channel. Go and search for it. It will help you. Good. So now let us look at the seal 4. What is going to take place? Because we said one thing leads to the other. Good. So we are reading. When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death. And Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over 1/4 of the earth to kill by sword, famine, plague, and by wild beasts of the earth. So the fourth seal was what? The person was sitting on the pale. A pale is a color. I don't know how to describe it. That's a pale is a color, and that color symbolizes what? Death. So this time that is going to be death. People will die. Even now that we are crying, we haven't cried yet. Did you see what he said? He says what? One fourth, so quarter of the well will die here. Quarter to take life, to take one fourth of the well, one fourth of the whole well. That's what is going to happen. So assuming you are, let's say, four in a house, just be sure that one will die. You are eight, just be sure that two will go. That is what it means. So at this point, one quarter of the well is going to die. So right now we are, let's say we are about 7 billion, thereabout, about 7 billion. Definitely. So what is going to happen is that those that are going to die are going to be closer to 1 billion, or they will be around one. They will be around 1 billion, either closer to 1 billion or more than 1 billion. Just look at COVID-19. How many people died? And look at the crying. Were they up to 1 billion? So quarter, and this one is going to be deaf. That is why he's sitting on the pale horse. You know, when somebody died, the color, that is what it looks like. If a person died, a dead body, that's the color of the dead body, a pale color. How do I pronounce? P is P-A-L-E. If whether pale or pale is pale. So when a dead body looks like that, so what will be the cause of the deaths? They have listed 4 reasons why people will die. That 4 reasons. One is what? They will die through the sword. We said what? They will be fight. So the second half of the tribulation is just going to be. That's why at that time, if you don't take the mark 666, you will die. Just few people will survive through the tribulation. Will be the righteous people. I'm talking with the righteous people. Just few of them. That's why in Revelation chapter 7, if you read chapter 7, verses 9, you see that many people are appearing before the throne. Why? They were killing them, killing them, killing them, killing them. So if you look at this place, that the second part is just going to be war. That is where the Antichrist will pursue the saints, the Jews, and then the saints, the non-Jews, those who refuse to take the mark and give their life to Christ. So one of the causes will be what? They will be what? Sword. People will die through sword. The war. So the war here, it will not just be like a nation against nation, but it will be like the Antichrist will have an let's say alliance against the saints. That is what is going to happen. So it is not going to be like this time this nation against this nation, that nation against that nation. No, that's not how it will be. It is it will be like religion versus religion. That is how it will be. So the Antichrist will connive with armies. He will have an army, and then he will he will have some armies group, and then he will group them against the saints. So what will happen? First one is what? They will die through war. The second one is what? Famine, hunger. People will starve till they die. You see that the other seal, the third seal, they said what? Food is costly. Food will be costly in the market. You can't buy food. You work the whole day, and your whole day salary will not be able to buy food. So because of that, people will starve and die. People will die through hunger, through starvation. So the second reason cause of death is that at that time people will die through starvation. People will die through starvation. That's why I said what we are seeing today, thinking that it is famine. We haven't seen anything. These are just the forerunners. They are just forerunners telling us the actual thing that is coming. So the second cause of death is what? Good, famine. Let us look at the third one. Good. The third one is plagues. Plagues. Do you know plagues? Incurable diseases like COVID-19. You see, Ebola. It will come. You cannot cure it. You can't cure it. By the time you realize it has been plagued and destroyed, you can just wipe out an entire family, an entire community, an entire let's say district. You can just wipe out. Look at what Ebola was doing. Look at what COVID-19 was doing before they finally find the treatment. That is plagues. So plagues would be part of it. So we haven't seen plagues yet. We haven't seen plagues yet. We are yet to see them. We will see plagues, sick diseases that we don't even know where they are coming from. Neither will you know how to treat them. You won't know where they are coming from. Neither will you know where to treat them. Hey, the second half, the tribulation is not easy. Oh. Don't be part of it. Don't try to be part of it, because if you are part of it, you are dead. So just, I beg you, just join the church. Just accept Jesus Christ, and when the rapture comes, you'll be gone. Or if you don't meet the rapture and die today, you'll be gone and you are free. If not, if you don't accept Christ, and then you are there till the rapture, and then you miss, and you are part of the left behind. If you are part of the left behind, that time you will swear. You will swear that they have you will say that you will curse the day that you were conceived. You curse that day, even if it's that night, the night you curse that night, the night that you were conceived. You say, if my it would have been better for my parents not to even not to they shouldn't have given birth to me. So you better accept him now, because we don't know when the rapture will take place. As I am talking, I may not finish. As you're also listening, you may not also finish, and the rapture will take place. And if you haven't given your life to Christ, you'll be left behind, and you pass through this. You pass through these plagues, this famine, this sword, the war. You pass through them. Good. So the third thing is what? Mhm. Plagues. The fourth one is what? Wild animals will also eat up people. Lions, wild animals will eat them up, because some of them will be running, trying to hide. By the time you realize you're in the lion's dens, you are running to the mountains to hide under rocks. By the time you realize, where do lions hide? Where do the wild animals hide? They're hiding in the bush, in the caves. So you run into a cave inside lions' dens. Do you think they will leave you? They have gotten their supper. If it's morning breakfast, they just do justice, and then they are waiting for more. Or you enter into the bush, they can meet you there, tear you apart. You see? So the fourth one that will also bring the deaths much will be wild beasts, wild animals will kill many people. So the deaths will be caused by these four things. So I said the first one would be war. The second one, through the war, people will die. The second one will be starvation. The fourth one will be plagues. And sorry, the third one will be plagues, and then the fourth one will be what? Wild beasts, wild animals will eat up people. Do you want to go through this? Would you like to be on earth at this era? Would you like? That's why I'm waiting for the rapture to go. I will not go through the tribulation. So you better accept Christ, and we all wait for the rapture and go, or you pass through it, because Jesus is the only way. That's what he said in John. Let me read it. He said what? I am the way, the truth, and then the life. No one comes to the Father except what? Except you pass through me. So let us read John chapter number 14, verses 6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So don't be deceived that there are other ways of going to heaven. You lie. Don't go and be doing other things and say, okay, if you are doing like this, you are worshiping God. There are so many ways of worshiping God. Which God? That's what I always ask. If you say God, which God? I'm not just talking of God. I'm talking of Jesus Christ. Because anything can be God. So if you say there are so many ways of worshiping God, you are right. Because the God that you are worshiping, I don't know which God that you are worshiping. But I am talking of Jesus Christ, the creator of this universe. Though there are no, we don't have many ways of worshiping him. It is only one way. And that one way is to accept him as his Lord, to accept him as your personal Lord and Savior. That's the only thing. Apart from that, there's no other two ways of worshiping Jesus Christ. But if you say there are so many ways of worshiping God, I won't say it is not. There's no many ways, because I can bring my fowl with my water and pour libation and sacrifice there. Am I not worshiping God? But do you know the God that I'm worshiping? You don't know. So that's why if we just say God, I always ask, if you say you believe in God, I ask, which God do you believe in? Because there are so anything can be God. I can put a stone and say this is God. And say I believe in God, and it is God. I can have a mountain. I believe in God, and it is God. I have a tree. I believe in God. It is God. My father died, and I built. I create something. That this is my father, my late father, or my uncle. It is God. But what is the name? That name is your uncle. That name, that God name is a tree. That God name is a river. That God name is a mountain. That God name is. So all the gods, there are many, many ways of worshiping. So the way you approach the tree, it will be different from the way somebody will approach a mountain, or the different way somebody also approach a river. So there are so many ways of worshiping God. But the God of Jesus, Jesus, the God, that God that we only know, is only one way. Accept Him as your personal Lord and Savior. Open your mouth and confess and add to the church. Apart from that, there's no way again. Don't be deceived. Thank you for your, for your time. Let us go back to the Matthew 24 and we read and see whether did Jesus say something about these deaths or not. So let's read Matthew 24 verses, I think, 7 to 8. Let's look at that place. Matthew 24 verses number 7 to 8 and see where I say there. Good. It says this way. There will be, okay, verse 8. When then you will be handed over. Let's read verse 8. You'll be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many, because the increase because of the increase of wickedness. The love of most will grow cold. The verse 8 is okay. And so the verse 9. So the verse 8 says what? All these are the beginning of birth pain. And the verse 9 says what? You'll be hated all over, and they will put you to death. They will put you to death. That is the second, that's the tribulation. They will put you to death and they will hate you. Do you know why? They will hate you because you accept Christ. And those nations, those that will hate you, you said they will hate you by what? Nations. The nations, those people, those that accept the mark of the beast, they are the people who now hate you. So you see that Jesus spoke about it. So the fourth seal is what? That is what is going to happen. Deaths. And what? Quarter of the entire world will be wiped out. Quarter. So about 1 billion people on the earth will wiped out. So I'm just taking COVID-19 that just ended recently. Compare how many people died, and everywhere it was crying every day. Now look at the world getting to about 1 billion going to wipe out, and that is not all. Coming, you will see more deaths. By the time we finish the tribulation, almost 2/3 of the world will be wiped out. If you take it, 2/3 of it will be gone. So you have to take it. Accept Christ now. So I think we'll end here. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, share it, and also show it to your colleague and let him or her also subscribe, a family member, so that we will be able to let's say share our views. We are looking at facts, Bible facts, and end time events in this channel. So thank you for your time. May the Lord bless you. Any question that you have, put it at the comment section. Any comment, you add it, like, and then you share it. Thank you. God bless you. Bye bye.